Hello, and sorry it's been so long. I'm reading the book Living Untethered by Michal Singer. It's a great book. This is going to be chapter 17, Serve, Mind, or Fix It. All your preferences exist because you stored experiences from the past inside your personal mind. This makes it difficult to live in there, but instead of fixing it, you double down and try to satisfy your preferences. I want to feel good, and the way to feel good is by getting the house I want. The way to feel good is by owning the car I've always wanted. The way to feel good is by finding a better relationship. This one's not doing it for me. These attempts to compensate for your blockages are, at best, short-lived because you are not actually getting rid of the blockages. The foundational choice we have in life is either constantly control life to compensate for our blockages or devote our lives to getting rid of our blockages. The fact is, we stored these samskaras inside. We shouldn't have, but we did. Now, instead of getting rid of them, we expect the world to adapt to them. We know it's not going to happen by itself, so we use the personal thoughts layer of the mind to analyze how the world needs to be to match what we want. We're brilliant at figuring out how to make someone become attracted to us, or to change things so they better fit our limitations. Also, everything we do is governed by this personal thoughts layer of the mind. It is the same analytical power of the mind that Einstein used to see E equals mc squared. When you're using it to figure out what to do if someone's talking badly about you, this entire layer of mind intellectualizes and analyzes your stored patterns to try to figure out how the world needs to be so that when it comes in, it will feel good and never feel bad. That is why you tend to have so much trouble making decisions. You're trying to figure out how each choice will make you feel later. Where do I want to live? Should I change jobs? I need to figure this out. You're trying to mentally conceptualize how the proposed action will match the patterns you've stored inside. You don't even think twice about it. Of course, that's what I'm doing. What else would I do? How about live in reality and enjoy the moments that are unfolding in front of you? That's what else you can do. Use your mind to be creative, inspiring, and do great things. Don't let the mind always be thinking about itself and what it wants. Learn to enjoy life as it is, instead of limiting the ways you can enjoy it to serve your past impressions. The self-centered, analyzing layer of the mind is the worst. It is the model you build about how everything and everybody needs to be for you to feel okay, including the weather tomorrow. It better not rain tomorrow. I'm going camping. Now you're getting upset about the weather. You have no control over the weather, yet it's bothering you. It's not just the weather. The driver in front of you is going 10 miles per hour below the speed limit. Let's watch your mind. This is ridiculous. I don't have time for this. What's wrong with them? They're supposed to be in the slow lane. Turns out the problem is not how the person in front of you is driving. The problem is what your mind is doing about how the person in front of you is driving. Eventually, you catch on that you've developed an entire intellectual model of how every single thing needs to be, how people should behave, how your spouse should be dressed when you're going out, and even how much traffic there should be. How many things do you do this about? Pretty much every single thing. You honestly believe that what you made up is how it should be. The truth of the matter is that's absurd. There is no way what you make up in your head based on your very limited past experiences has anything to do with what's supposed to be happening in the real world. Think about it for a moment. What you want the weather to be has nothing to do with what it's going to be. The weather has to do with meteorology, not your preference system. If you really want to know why it had to rain on your day off, Go study science. The wise person realizes that the world is not going to unfold the way they want to because it's not supposed to. Now, no two of us agree how it's supposed to unfold, yet there's only one world out there. We best leave reality to either science or God, not to everyone's individual preferences. The world in front of you has the power of reality behind it. It is unfolding in accordance to the influences that made it the way that it is, and there are billions of influences going back billions of years. In contrast, you're just making up how it's supposed to be based on the impressions you had inside from your past. When reality doesn't happen the way you want, you say reality is wrong. I don't like that. It should not have happened. Here's a technique for getting perspective. Put your mind in outer space and realize that there's nothing out there but 99.999% emptiness. There's just empty space between all the stars. Your nearest star after the sun is 4.2 light years away. To get an idea how far that is, imagine holding a light beam above the earth. Now, let it go for 1 second. In that 1 second, the light circumnavigated the globe 7.5 times. Travel at that speed every second for 4.2 years, and you'll reach the next star. That's pretty much nothing but empty space in between. We call it interstellar space. That's how it is between all the stars, all over the universe. How would you like to be out there and see nothing? Because that's what 99.999% of the universe is. What you get every day is a miracle. There are colors, shapes, sounds, along with all the amazing experiences you're given with each passing moment. Yet all you do is say, no, it's not what I want. Of course it's not what you want. That's not the point. Instead of comparing the moment in front of you against the preferences you've built up inside your mind, why don't you compare it against nothing? Since that's what makes up 99.99% of the universe. If you do this, you'll find yourself being thankful that you get to have your daily experiences. They're certainly better than empty space. That's how a wise person lives. The alternative is to suffer because things are not the way you want. Previously, we discussed Buddha's first noble truth. All of life is suffering. Now we get to the second noble truth. The cause of suffering is desire. In other words, the cause of suffering is preference, deciding how you want things to be and getting upset when they're not that way. Not surprisingly, it turns out Buddha was right. Events don't cause mental or emotional suffering. You cause yourself mental and emotional suffering about the events. If you're not doing that, things are the way they are. Always remember, it took 13.8 billion years for everything unfolding exactly as it did for the moment in front of you to be the way it is. A perfect example of how we cause ourselves mental suffering is how we view our bodies. When you're young, you look a certain way. You get older, and you look another way. What's wrong with that? It's just miraculous. You watch your body change all by itself. That is a natural process, and it should not cause suffering. Likewise, in this life, you go through many different experiences. They should not cause suffering. Experiences are not suffering. They're experiences. But if you decide how you want them to be and they're not that way, then you suffer. Suffering is caused by the constant contrast between what you mentally decided you wanted and the reality unfolding in front of you. To whatever degree they don't match, you suffer. What we're exploring here is deeper than most people want to go, but it is the truth. You have set up in your mind what you like and what you don't like, based on your past impressions. Now you honestly believe the world should be that way. Obviously, that's not a belief founded in reality. As long as you do that, you're going to have a very hard time in life. We now have a pretty clear view of the personal mind. We have seen that the first layer of mind is the one that receives the senses. The second layer is the samskaras we did not let pass through as life flowed into us. Based on this foundation, we built very personal thought patterns of like and dislike and how to get life to unfold the way we want. These impressions of what we liked and disliked are so powerful that our consciousness becomes completely absorbed in the model of life they generate. In fact, we focus on it so completely that it forms our self-concept. I am the one who likes this, doesn't like that, and I'm dead serious about getting what I want. We're so distracted by this model that we're not even aware of being back there watching all of this. But we are. How else would we know it's going on?